Hi. Pause for a second and think about the last business book you read or the last business guru you watched online. It probably sounded great in theory and you got really excited. But here's the real question. Did it actually help you solve a friction in your business this morning? Well, welcome to the Stronger Business Together podcast. This is a show for business owners who want things to be simpler, clearer, and more practical. I'm your host, Granger Forson, and I'm a business coach, and I believe in this deeply. Businesses should not feel hard all the time. And we don't do theory for theory's sake. We don't do gurus. We don't do silver bullets. No textbook answers detached from reality. What we do is real journeys, real business, and real hurdles. Everything in this podcast is built on one central belief. This core belief is you shouldn't build your business in isolation. Better decisions come from experienced peers, not from outsourcing your thinking to textbooks or not outsourcing your responsibility to AI either. AI is a brilliant support tool, but you are the business owner, and with that comes ownership of decisions. We also believe that in growing your people, they will grow your business. We believe growth comes from constructively challenged by people who genuinely care about your success. And above all, we believe in making your business simpler. We build so much complexity over time, and when staff get involved, it just compounds. So welcome to this first episode. I want to take you behind the scenes. Why does this podcast exist? And what is the real hurdle that we're trying to solve? Because here's the paradox we all live in. We have more information than ever before. Books, podcasts, videos, frameworks, all at our fingertips. So why is it still so hard to apply it day to day in our businesses? That's the gap this podcast exists to close. Now, I believe in 6 non-negotiable business principles. Everything we talk about on this show sits around these 6 core principles. These aren't nice to haves. They're non-negotiable for a healthy business. And I came across these through 123 episodes of a previous podcast and working with business owners over the last 4 years and resolving huge hurdles in their business. Principle 1 is a profitable product or service the market actually wants to buy. Do you genuinely make money? Do you understand how to make money profitably? If the market isn't buying, well, there's no business. Principle 2 is a repeatable and rhythmic customer acquisition process. Do leads arrive consistently? And can you reliably convert them into sales? If marketing isn't working or sales aren't converting, growth will always feel heavy. Principle 3 is simple processes that delight customers and generate cash. Customers are the heartbeat of a business. They trust you with their money. Are you rewarding them with that trust? And are you actually collecting the cash in a timely way? Cash flow isn't a detail, it's oxygen. Principle 4 is strong people systems. For hiring, onboarding, developing, rewarding, and even saying goodbye as well. If you grow people, they grow your business. Principle 5 is knowing how to build a healthy business. And by healthy, I mean both structurally and humanly. Is the leadership clear? Is the organization resilient? Do you understand the cycles that businesses naturally go through? And finally, principle 6 is making it all simpler. Because complexity is usually something that we add, not something that we really need to do. So let me explain how this podcast works. Each episode, we follow a simple flow. Part 1, tell us about your business. Time to promote it. How do you delight your customers so they keep coming back or stay with you? Part 2 is we explore your journey, the highs, the lows, the reality behind the business. And part 3, we then dive and focus in on a single hurdle. I use the word deliberately because problems exist everywhere, every day in our businesses, but hurdles are different. A hurdle is something big, something chunky, something you need to get over in order to move forwards. And together we work through that on this podcast. Not opinions, but just with a really good structure. So a little context about me. I'm an engineer by background. I spent years designing, building, fixing, and simplifying systems. Early in my career, I worked closely with some Japanese engineers, and I learned lean and continuous improvement on the shop floor and in the design and development process. That thinking shaped everything, and I went on to turn around underperforming production sites, project teams, and even departments, and always with the same focus: simplify, involve people, and hit targets. Later, I moved back into a small business and experienced an exit and eventually became a business coach. Over the last few years, I've worked with business owners day in and day out, and I've also hosted over 123 podcast interviews, learning directly from real journeys. And what became obvious was this: knowledge isn't the issue, application is. As I have found, the gap between knowledge and understanding is action. What do I mean by this? Well, there's so much knowledge out there, so many bits of advice, more than there's ever been before. But what I find is that we get stuck. Business owners don't know what to do. They're unable to make decisions. And when they do make decisions, are they the right ones? Are they thinking correctly? But actually, the way to really get that is to get understanding. But understanding only comes after you've done lots of action and worked out. And sometimes that action takes you the wrong way. And that's the bit that we're worried about. So don't be worried about that. Take action, change quickly, learn quickly, and get that understanding, which helps you drive your business. So the Stronger Business Together has 4 philosophies that drive our thinking. When myself and my business partner sat down, we had one simple question: what do we actually believe? And these 4 philosophies emerged. Better decisions through experienced peers, not outsourcing responsibility. Making businesses simpler using lean thinking, at work and at home. Growing your people so they grow your business. A beautiful principle articulated by Paul Akers, and one I've seen proven time and time again. And finally, growth through constructive challenge. Because development doesn't come from comfort. It comes from being stretched by people who care about you. Without challenges, we stagnate. So within this podcast, I talk about hurdles. Every process, as I've said, every single day has problems. That's normal. A hurdle is different. It's that thing that keeps you awake at night, that thing you keep circling back to, that thing that won't shift without some real deep down understanding. As Alex Hormozy describes, it's that smashing through the wall, not knowing exactly when you'll get to the other side, but knowing when you do, you will achieve something that other business owners haven't. But you just have to keep going. So what helps to understand that is a structure. So in this podcast, we use a simple, practical problem-solving flow. First, we understand the background. Then we define a starting condition. Then clarify target condition. Then identify root causes. Design small experiments. Learn and adjust. No fluff, just progress. So why does this podcast exist? I work with just 24 clients at a time through the Stronger Business Roundtables. But I want this thinking, this knowledge, this capability to get to hundreds and thousands of more people so you can overcome the business hurdles that you have. So this podcast is my experiment how to do that. The starting condition is there's too much knowledge and not enough application. My target condition is listeners who say, yes, that's me. I know what I could do next in my business. If that's you, pass it on. Share it with other people so they can get involved and listen too. That's how this grows. My first experiment is this episode is my first one. Future episodes will also include other business owners that will be joining me to work through their hurdles, tell us about their businesses, and also their journey of the ups and downs of growing their business. We'll also look at hurdles that could be submitted by people that write into the show. So if you want to come on, brilliant. If you'd rather stay anonymous, that's fine too. Either way, you don't have to do this alone. Let's use this podcast to spread that ability to learn together. Because what surprises me is this. Even now, I grow most when I am stretched by others. This podcast is about doing, not just knowing. Between that gap, between knowing and truly understanding, as I've said, is action. Small steps, clear thinking, supported challenge. And that's what we're here for. So thank you for listening for episode number 1. I'm looking forward to sharing many conversations with you if you wish to join me. And if you want to be part of this episode, then please reach out at us at info@strongerbusinesstogether.com. So let's go and fix those problems. Let's overcome those big hurdles. Let's share all of our skills and knowledge to making our businesses better. That's Stronger Business Together podcast. Cheers.